If you're struggling with blocks, pushing the ball or hooking the ball too much off the tee, this video is really going to be relevant to you. Make sure you check it out. Hey, I might well have hit the line, nearly. So pretty happy with that golf ball flight there. This video, as I mentioned in the intro, is all going to be about if you're struggling with blocks and hooks, really off the tee, so talking about the driver. I've got for you just a little bit of word for warning of the difference perhaps between the irons and the woods in the downswing movement. So with an iron, shorter shaft length, you are going to be a little bit more tilted from your hips. It is easier to get your arms down in the golf swing. With a driver, it's a longer shaft, so up to 46 inches. You're going to stand a little taller, your shoulders are going to be further back. So what a lot of golfers get is the first movement, instead of the arms working down, they get too much the arms working out in front of them. And as they do that, they tend to lose a lot of posture. So if you're struggling with blocks and hooks, this sort of movement tends to happen. The spine angle's changing, the arms get a little bit too far out in front of you, the club drops behind you, and from that position the face is open, which is going to cause the ball to go too far right of target for me as a right-handed golfer, unless that golfer tries to recover a lot with hands and arms. So if you're struggling with those blocks and hooks with a driver, what I want you to really feel is that at the start of the downswing you get these arms down a little bit earlier. Okay, so this might not be a feel for everybody, but for those really struggling with blocks and hooks, feeling in a trapped position, losing posture, perhaps you got it on video and you're losing posture in the downswing, I want you to feel like you can get these arms down a little bit sooner. And keep this lead side low. So again, blocks and hooks, we get these arms going a little bit too far out in front, and the lead side, so my lead shoulder here, getting high very early. So anyone struggling off the tee, blocks and hooks, keep that lead shoulder lower and get those arms down. Now I'm in a very different delivery position to if I was here somewhere. You can automatically see that club is dropping more behind me. My lead side is very high and I've changed posture. Here, lead shoulder has stayed low and the club ends up getting a little bit more parallel to my toe line rather than so far behind my hands. So the sensation for you, as I said, lead shoulder staying low, arms down a little bit sooner, rather than this sort of movement where we feel like we're perhaps lunging for the golf ball with our lower body. So, lead shoulder staying low, arms down in front of me, rather than this movement where I get the club trapped behind me. That's the sensation. Feel it in a practice swing before you let it go. So another drive, just leaking a touch right, but it would definitely be catching some of the fairway there. If you're struggling with blocks and hooks, a little bit of movement is fine. If that ball's starting down your target line, what you're really trying to get away from is the big miss right or the overcompensation left. And as I said, if you're struggling more with the driver than the irons, it may well be that with that shorter shaft length, tilting over more from your hips, it's easier to get the arms working down in front of you at the start of the downswing, whereas with the driver standing taller, I often see this sort of movement when golfers are struggling with blocks and hooks. Their lead shoulder goes high, the arms end up, or the club ends up dropping behind their body too much, and they really struggle without flashing a lot of hands and arms. So the sensation for that golfer, as a quick recap, would be the lead shoulder staying low, and the arms getting down a little bit sooner. So you're trying to feel like the arms drop before you rotate. Now that is a feel rather than real. Of course there is rotation, but what you don't want to feel is this movement. So you're going to get the sensation, lead shoulder low, arms down before you start to rotate. and you'll start to find it a lot easier to square that club face into impact. If that video has helped, hit the thumbs up, share it with as many golfers as you can, and don't forget to subscribe. Cheers guys, I'll see you next time.